what should we start talking about today?
Fourth time's a charm. Or third time, I guess,
third.
yeah. Third time's a charm. Welcome back to Off a Tangent Podcast. Today I have Billie Webb,
Hello again.
TikTok sensation, van lifer, girl,
Female, 24.
purple enthusiast.
I am a purple enthusiast. I like the color purple.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some. Actually a little bit different scenery today. We're not in the home studio. We are actually at the beach near Galveston.
Yeah, we went on a little road trip together. We were gonna do van life stuff, like go to Planet Fitness, but it is so hot in Houston
Yeah,
right now.
and we're really tired.
Yeah, we're also really tired. We haven't been getting the best sleep, right?
Yeah, not really. And we've been behind schedule every day by like 2 hours.
Yeah, pretty much. That's actually my life. That's me. That's not you. That's my fault.
We've both done it. Although you did sleep till almost 1 that one day.
Yeah. I am a sleeper inner.
The only reason you woke up is because I woke you up.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually the reason we're here is because she actually got her van back. And I actually got to see it for the first time.
And what did you think about it?
It was nice. I liked that.
Do you actually?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't say anything when you saw it, so I was like, he's not impressed by it.
I was like in awe of it. I was like, this is awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
I
you.
love the wood in there too. It's really nice.
Yeah, that was hard to do. My one of my ex-boyfriends helped me with that actually.
Yeah.
So shout out to him, even though I'm not going to say his name because he likes his privacy.
My dad did all the wood in our house. We used to have all carpet.
Cool.
And he ripped it all out and he did all the wood by himself.
DIY stuff like remodeling your own house or building your own van or even making your own jewelry, I feel like it's some of the best experience that you can get, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Just learning how to do things by yourself.
Yeah.
Figuring out tools and such.
Yeah. So this is the first time you've seen that thing in a year, right?
Yeah. So I sold it about a year ago. Almost a year ago. And then my friend had texted me and was like, hey, do you know of any van life people? I'm going to go on a trip. So I texted my van buyer, the guy who had my old van, and I was like, just so you know, my friend is putting together a little group trip, and you're invited if you want to join. It's going to be in Yosemite on these dates. And then he texted me back, and he was like, no, I'm actually thinking about selling the van. And I was like, what? For how much? And it was a very, very reasonable price. So I was like, I need it back. I don't want it to go to somebody else where I'm never going to see it again.
So did you basically end up at just flat zero? Like you just bought it back for what you sold it for?
No, I
pretty
lost
much?
some money for sure.
Oh, dang.
I mean, I've put in,
But he did add some cool stuff to it.
yeah, he added an AC. So you know what? I would say probably
Just broke
flat
even.
zero. I don't know if you count all the money that I've put into the van before I sold it.
He also filled it with gas and washed it.
Yeah, that was actually he's a super kind guy.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I'm super happy to have it back.
Yeah.
I feel like myself again for the first time in a long time. I've been going through like a lot of stuff in life recently, and it was just really nice to have this piece of me back.
Yeah. If you would like to see the van, you could see it on Billie's YouTube channel. When she puts up the video, we filmed a little bit of it.
Yeah,
You've probably seen it on TikTok too, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna be posting
I
my
don't know
very
why.
first YouTube video, and then I have tons of TikToks of this van already.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna link all that in the description below. All of that.
thanks. Yeah, you can watch our little adventure.
Yeah. You could also watch our first take of this podcast over video, if you would like to, on Billie's Patreon.
If I ever get it.
Yeah, I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you in like the next 2 days or something like that. I just keep forgetting. I just have it saved. I just haven't given it to you. That was our first try, our first take, and you can see it exclusively on Billie's Patreon, which will also be linked.
What did we talk about then? We talked a little bit about AI. We talked about
We answered a lot of questions from followers.
answered questions from followers. We went live for that one. I don't think we should do that anymore because it gets a little bit chaotic.
Yeah. If you were in any of the lives within the last like 2 times that we tried to do a podcast, you should comment on this podcast. Because We've tried. Hold on. There we go. What else did we talk about yesterday? Or the day
Um,
before? I'm forgetting.
well, you asked me some questions about van life,
Do you remember what I asked you?
like about making friends on the
Oh, yeah,
road.
yeah, okay. Um, well, first of all, how long have you been doing van life?
Well,
And also, did it start when you started your TikTok, or were you doing it before TikTok?
no, no. So I was homeless before getting the van. Uh, actually homeless. I used to make TikToks about it, and people would send me a bunch of hate being like, this girl is fake homeless. No, I would never be fake homeless for internet clout, believe it or not. Um, uh, so yeah, I made like, they were supposed to be joking TikToks, and then they accidentally went viral, but a bunch of people would Venmo me all the time randomly, and it was super, people on the internet are just super kind, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I was also working full time as a nanny, part time to full time usually. This was like peak COVID, and so I saved up enough money to get this van. It was $6,000. It was way overpriced for how much work it needed, though. So over 2 years, I replaced so much in this van, including the head gaskets, like the engine and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, oh, literally everything, like down to the muffler. Everything in that van is like new now. It's the craziest thing. It's practically a new van with a little bit of rust on it.
Okay.
But yeah, basically the reason that I got the van is just because I was working during COVID and I was homeless and couch surfing, staying in my car sometimes. One time I snuck into the Stanford University dorms
Oh, wow.
to sleep there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have really nice lounges.
Yeah. And that was one of your first TikToks that went viral, right? When you snuck into somewhere to sleep?
Yeah, so I snuck into an old apartment, basically. It was my old apartment. And by old apartment, I mean it was a relatively new apartment. It's like a nice complex and stuff. But I had been working 3 jobs, and that's how I was affording to live on a couch in a nice apartment. I stayed in the living room. I
Yeah.
had like 4 roommates. Um, and after I lost 2 of my 3 jobs because of COVID, then I couldn't afford that apartment anymore, and it didn't matter because all of the roommates were moving out anyway. So I was kind of fucked.
Um, interesting.
Yeah, I know. There's not much to say to that. It's just like, oh, okay, then she's crazy.
You're not crazy. How do you like San Antonio?
San Antonio is pretty cool. I like Texas. It's just a little bit too hot for me.
Yeah.
I feel like there's there's a big drinking scene here too, and I'm not like super into the drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of dive bars, country bars, that kind of thing.
Yeah, although that bar that we went to last night there was like, oh, it reminded me of like a scene from a festival or
Yeah, that was
something,
pretty
because
cool.
there was a huge layout with just hammocks. Are those hammocks?
They were
seat
like kind of like
hammocks?
swings, like little like
Hammock
they were like
swings.
small hammocks.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one like a
Meant for one person, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so there was just like, what do you think, 20?
Yeah, probably 15, 20 of them.
15 to 20 single person swing hammocks all just in the same area. So it was like a little hammock playground for adults, for drunk adults. And then this bar had cornhole, it had
Live music.
live music, that's the most
Jenga.
important part. Giant Jenga.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome.
It was pretty cool. The guy was really good that was performing.
Yeah,
He-
and oh, I just love good live music.
Yeah.
So much.
He played like the entire Guitar Hero soundtrack. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Maybe that's where he learned.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've always thought it'd be so cool if someone made a bar that was just like for video games. That someone probably has, but like it'd be cool if there's a section for like Guitar Hero or Rock Band or something, and then
Yeah.
there was like, I don't know, it could be whatever, like Skate 3
See,
or
that
like
is such a good
Dance
idea.
Dance
I don't know
Revolution.
why there's not a bar like this that already exists.
There probably is.
Yeah, we probably
We
just don't know about
know
it.
where it is.
Yeah.
If you know of one, leave it in the comments.
Yes, please let us know if you know of a video game bar.
Yeah. I think that'd be really cool.
There should be every type of bar. There should be, I don't know, Man, your idea was so creative that I can't come up with a better one.
It'd be cool if there was like a maybe like some kind of painting bar where you can like drink and then you can like like there's a place called Painting with a Twist, which is like you can sip wine and you can take a lesson and paint, but it would just be cooler if it was just like paint whatever you want.
Yeah,
And they just have
that's
like
really smart. See, look at you with
I think that'd be
with
cool.
these ideas. Why don't you open some bars and make the drinking scene a little bit cooler than it already is?
Because that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of money.
Start a GoFundMe. I would actually chip in on that. I need bars like this to exist.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. But then you also have to get like a liquor license and all kinds of stuff, and then you have to keep renewing it, and it's just.
Yeah, it's probably a ton of work.
And I'm sure like you got to get some kind of liability insurance so people don't hurt themselves or anything like on your
Yeah.
equipment or break it.
Imagine if something like a karaoke bar existed.
It's a great idea, Billy.
Thank you, thank you.
Where did you come up with it?
I just thought of it just now. It's original.
Completely original.
I actually love karaoke bars.
Me too.
So I wanted to talk like about mental health and
Let's do it.
diagnoses and stuff like that if you are willing to.
Yeah. Anything you want to know? My followers
So-
already know. I've said it on several podcasts before that I'm autistic.
Yeah.
Level 1 autism. Got diagnosed when I was probably 22, I think.
And I asked you about this a little bit already, but how does that affect you in your daily life, if you don't mind sharing?
Honestly, at level 1, it's not a huge impact. It really just affects certain specific things. Like it affects my senses really badly. So like I can't touch certain fabrics because it makes my skin crawl. It makes it overloads my sensors on my hands and it overloads my nervous system basically.
Right.
I get that same way with sounds. Like
Yeah, 'cause you can't like listen to music too loud, right?
yeah,
Same. I'm the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
same
yeah.
way.
and it's hard for me to like carry conversation at the same time music is playing.
Same. 100%.
Or
I-
like yeah.
Yeah. I will literally, you know this already
Yeah.
about me, but I will literally pause the radio if or the Bluetooth, whatever, if someone starts talking to me while a song is playing. Because I'm like, why are we going to talk over music when we can just pause it and then play it again when we're done talking?
Yeah.
I have this theory that if you play a song too much as background noise, then the song starts to lose its meaning. Have you ever listened to a song so much that like you loved it at first, but then you started hating it from overhearing it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I feel like that's because we play it so much that it starts to just become background noise, and we'll start thinking over the music or we'll talk over the music. And yeah, then it starts to lose its meaning and you start to hate the song because you've heard it as background noise too much.
Yeah.
That's just a theory. I think that holds true for me though, at least.
Yeah. It also affects like my adaptability. Like it's not as easy for me as it would be for a normal person, quote unquote normal person, to change plans like pretty quickly, like established plans. Like I'm fine being spontaneous and just like, hey, let's go do something real quick. Like that's fine. But like if we have like a plan in advance, like within like a week or something, and then it changes the day of, that's hard for me to switch
Yeah.
really quickly.
So, fun fact about me, I don't think I've told you this even, which I meant to, but I told you I had 3 jobs
Yeah.
as 3 nannying jobs when I was working at the peak of COVID. One of those jobs was with a boy on the autism spectrum,
Okay.
much lower functioning than you, but also just like very intelligent all the same. By the way, is that like a sign of autism as well, is just being very intelligent in certain areas?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of autistic people are overly intelligent.
Overly
And
intelligent.
I don't know a better way to word that. Like they're just, but it's usually with specific things. Like for me, it's with like camera and
Yeah,
technology and
you
stuff.
do know
like
your
very
freaking
specific.
cameras. You know all that stuff way
Yeah.
better than I do. I'll ask Garrett like, hey, can you show me how to do this? And he'll just be like, done. Um, but yeah, what I was gonna say is about the plans changing thing. He had the exact same thing. Like, we would go to, say, Disney World or something, and then a ride would shut down unexpectedly, and he did not like that.
Yeah.
Like, he had a lot of trouble dealing with stuff like that that was like out of control.
Yeah. Did he have any like things with food? Like did he eat the same food every day, or did he have like
Yeah, there was
certain
a lot of
what they call
routine.
safe foods?
Safe foods, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. There was a lot of routine in like the food area. Honestly, routine was everything. Like
Yeah.
getting dressed, showering, like everything was all about routine. I feel like that helped him with
Yeah.
like everything, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I can be that way sometimes too, where I have a routine. I do the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
Honestly, I feel like most people kind of need routine.
Yeah.
I might be overstepping by just generalizing like that, but I know that I feel a lot better when I have a routine going, but it's hard for me to stick with it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, with autistic people, most of the time they need the routine. It's not just that they feel better, like they need it.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, it 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 just like gives you anxiety, like freaks you out, like in the same way it would if you change plans on them. Like it's just like changing plans. It's like changing their plan. Like that's their plan
hmm.
that they do every single day.
What if I told you that I also get anxiety if I don't have a routine going?
Are you asking me if I think you're autistic?
I'm asking you if you think that that means that I need to have routine, or I guess yeah, you can diagnose me if you feel if you feel able to do so.
if if you were autistic, you'd be really high functioning like me. I wouldn't count it out, but I don't think it would be like super important for you to get a diagnosis and to like do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, fun fact, I did go to a psych ward back in February, so like 2 months
Oh
ago.
yeah, you posted about that.
Yeah, I posted about it on TikTok. Basically, I was in a really toxic, abusive relationship for all of 2022. It wasn't abusive for all of 2022. That only started happening towards the end of it. Of course, why would I stay for an entire year? But then again, you say that and then women will stay. And it's
Men will
something,
too.
men will too, yeah, of course. And it's something that's like hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's not just, it's not like an entire relationship is ever all abuse.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, but anyway, after I left that relationship, I was quite happy. And I guess the best way to describe that in terms of like mental health is maybe manic. Like I was always, always excited about literally anything and everything. And I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it was really annoying to my friends.
Yeah.
Like they had trouble dealing with it. They asked me to go to the psych ward, so I did. I put myself on a voluntary 3-day hold, and I refused to take medicine because I don't believe in taking medicine unless you really need it,
Yeah.
and I don't believe that I need to take medicine for psych-related things. But anyway, as like a little fuck you, I think they decided to diagnose me as BPD, bipolar,
Yeah.
and schizophrenic. They diagnosed me schizophrenic. Do I come off as schizophrenic to you?
Not in the slightest. Not in the
And
slightest.
you don't have to share, but you've had like schizophrenia in your not close family, but in your distant relatives.
My dad's
right?
mother
Your dad's
was,
mother.
was schizophrenic, and it was not great. Not a great experience. But she also refused to take her medicine.
Well, I also am refusing to take the medicine that I was prescribed, but I feel like it's a little bit of a different story.
And it's weird that they would diagnose you with both bipolar and schizophrenia because they're very similar in certain ways and they can be mixed up when diagnosed. In the same way they did that with me. It took me a long time to get diagnosed because they kept misdiagnosing me with different things.
Did they try to diagnose you with schizophrenia?
They never tried to diagnose me with schizophrenia. I think they tried bipolar. They definitely did ADHD, ADD, OCD, all of that. and autism is basically ADHD, ADD, OCD,
All combined.
all rolled into one, and anxiety, like all rolled into one.
Interesting. I definitely think that I have some anxiety, especially when it comes to like we were talking about earlier, like not following a routine. If I drink alcohol, that usually makes me a little bit anxious the next day, which is why it confuses me every time I drink alcohol. But anyway, not sure why I make those choices when I could just not drink. Um, but yeah, I definitely have struggled with anxiety, but never in a debilitating way.
Yeah.
Like it's never made me not able to function. Um, and yeah, you're right about schizophrenia and bipolar being treated the same way. Like the meds that they prescribe you are the exact same meds.
But also, there's also different levels to that. In the same way, there's different levels to autism, level 1, 2, and 3. Like there's different types of bipolar, and I'm pretty sure there's different types of schizophrenia too. Like there's like I know that there's um like 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 almost like hallucinogenic schizophrenia, to where like you hallucinate and you talk to people
I
and you
think
see people and you're like,
I think that's even level 1. I don't know if it's actual levels for schizophrenia. You know what? As someone who's been properly diagnosed with schizophrenia, I should probably know more about it, but I was like, fuck this. You guys are so wrong that it's not even funny.
do you think that they have to diagnose you with something when you go into a ward? Like that's part of the way to get you out?
Well, they could diagnose me with depression. That's what
Yeah.
they diagnosed a lot of the people in
Yeah.
there. And let me tell you, there were some people in the psych ward that had more than just depression, but then got out with the title of only being quote unquote depressed.
Hmm.
Um, so the fact that I got out with a schizophrenia diagnosis and BPD is like just mind boggling to me, because every single person that was in the psych ward was like, Billie, who are you and why are you in here? Like, you don't need to be in here. Like, why are you trapped? I got
Yeah.
trapped there for days. It was, but that's how it goes, I guess.
I guess so.
Oh, by the way, it was a psych ward for the quote unquote rich and famous.
Oh,
So
wow.
I met quite a few like famous people's
Oh, that's cool. Like kids
sons
and
and
stuff.
daughters
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was really interesting. I'm not going to share who, just to protect people's privacies, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The So when we were talking about autism, you said the word function quite a few times.
Did I?
Quite a few times. I want to talk about that because I've seen this on TikTok a lot, where I follow a few different like autistic creators and stuff, and like I see different things in the comments, and a lot of you people are like, you can't say functioning, you can't say low functioning, you can't say like mid functioning, you can't say high functioning, you can't tell people function, you can't say that word, that's demeaning.
Really?
To you people, you are ridiculous, you are part of the problem. That is the diagnosis. That is what it is. Like and I can say this because I'm autistic. We do not function the same way that you function. It is different, and it is silly to say that everybody that's autistic functions the same way. Because I have a friend that can barely feed himself. Like he won't eat unless his mom calls him downstairs to eat. I'm literally his only friend, his only singular friend. And we have the same diagnosis, and we're both autistic. And it's silly to say that we function the same way.
Now, is he like level 1?
No, he's like level 3.
How many levels are there?
I think there's only 3.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So that probably means the boy that I was nannying for, he was probably also level 3, maybe level 2. I'm not sure if he'll ever drive. Does your friend drive?
He has a license, but he doesn't drive. Not
Got
really.
it. Got it.
That was a big thing with me too. It took me a while to drive. I didn't drive till I was 22.
Oh, wow. That makes sense. You're not the best driver yet, but you're getting there.
Thanks.
Sorry. No, you're not like a bad driver. You're just like, I can tell that you get nervous behind the wheel, if that makes sense, which that's a good thing.
But I'm not nervous for myself. I'm nervous that the other people on the road. This is Texas. People can't drive worth a crap.
Oh, yeah. I'm making a TikTok about the drivers in Texas literally today after we get off of this podcast, because I am just mind boggled by the Texas drivers. Oh
It's
my
terrible.
God. But yeah, dude, I literally was a registered behavior therapist, an RBT.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is, do you know what that is?
Yeah.
It's someone who works with people on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And have never heard the debate about using the word functioning.
It's a newer thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's like a new like PC type
Yeah.
of ordeal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty then. That's all
And
I
by
have
the
to say.
way, when someone says that you're low functioning or high functioning, that doesn't mean that you're stupid. That doesn't attack your intelligence. That doesn't mean that you
No, it
can't
definitely
do
doesn't.
anything. It just means that you're different. Like the way your brain functions is different.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I talk about myself as low functioning sometimes too. Like, I wouldn't necessarily use like those words because I've already correlated them with
Yeah.
being on the autism spectrum in my head. But I am say that I will literally joke about myself and be like, I am not a functioning adult today.
Yeah.
That's like, I feel like that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But you know, who am I to say? Because I'm not on the spectrum. You are. You can have an opinion.
And I do.
Or maybe, according to Garrett, maybe I am.
I mean,
I want to be diagnosed with everything under the books. This is my goal in life now.
oh my gosh.
I have the 2 worst ones down.
I'm pretty sure there's worse diagnoses.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably.
cancer?
Oh, okay. I meant like psych things, but thank you. Yeah, I just took a step back and realized how stupid I sounded.
I was gonna say something. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh look, here's a cat.
Aw.
He's got a collar on too.
It's like a little Siamese cat walking
Yeah.
up to us. Everything still good on this?
Oh yeah, I've been monitoring it. You have any more questions about autism? Anything you want to know? Anything? Oh, I guess I could tell you about the diagnosis process, like the tests they gave me and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So it's really interesting. So when you go get diagnosed with autism, they basically just push all your buttons to see how you're going to react. Like if you react like a normal person, then you obviously don't have autism. But if you act like someone who's autistic, like it gets under your skin, you get anxious, whatever, then you're they basically have to push your autistic buttons to see if you're autistic,
You know,
which kind of sucks. But
this is really sounding derogatory right now, but I know that none of it's derogatory. But like, if I closed my eyes and kind of tuned out and just tuned in certain parts of this conversation, this sounds so derogatory.
it's not meant to be derogatory. It's just, I mean, how else are you going to diagnose them? You have to push their buttons. You can't just.
Yeah, I know, but you said push their autistic buttons.
I mean, like, I'm serious. Like they
I
target
know.
your sensitivity to sound.
Yeah.
They target your sensitivity, like your attention to detail. They target your like ability with numbers. Like they target those specific things.
And how's your ability with numbers, by the way?
My ability with numbers is pretty good. I'm
Yeah.
pretty decent with numbers.
You know what is interesting is I've always remembered dates really, really well, and I can remember things down to my passport number, my driver's license number, my license plate, everything like
Yeah,
that.
me
But
too.
I'm not good at math.
I'm also good at math. I
You
can
are good
memorize
at
all
math?
that stuff, and I'm also good at math.
Yeah, I've never been the best at math.
Basic math. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm good at calculus or like astrophysics or anything. I'm just like multiplication,
Oh, okay.
division,
Well,
like
yeah,
that kind of thing.
I
Like
can do those.
everyday
too.
math.
I thought you meant like calculus.
No,
Okay.
never once have I used calculus in my entire adult life,
Huh.
which has only been like not even a decade. But
How are
still.
you with school, do you think?
I was decent. I definitely favored certain classes.
Do you
That
think you favored certain classes because of how they were taught or because of specifically the subject?
let me see, most both 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 of those things. It was either, but
I feel like-
mostly that's like what the class was.
Yeah. I feel like a good teacher makes everything for a class because when I was in high school, I would think that I hated certain subjects, and then I would go to college and have really good teachers
Yeah.
in those subjects, like for example, just English,
Yeah.
and I loved it in college
Mm.
because of the teacher. So
Yeah.
that's one reason why I've been thinking about going into teaching lately is because of that. Because I feel like I could be a good teacher
Yeah,
and I could make
I think you
people
could.
hate their lives a little bit less.
You'd be one of those teachers that walks around with a ruler whacking around people's desks.
Yeah. Yep. No, not actually.
That's funny. Um. Oh yeah. Okay. So back to the diagnosis. Like one of the tests they did was they basically you had to put on these headphones, and they would play these sounds through each different one like randomly, and you would have to push like these different buttons like left, right, and or I think it was like left, right, or none on where the sounds were coming from, like which side of your ear through the headphones, and it was not like it would just you would go faster and faster, and like the beeps would be different sounds sometimes and stuff. So it was just like it did just screwed with my head. I was like, oh my gosh, and it was like 15 minutes worth of doing that.
Wow.
It was crazy. I was like, this is not.
I
This
probably
is.
would not do too well on something like that since I'm now deaf in one ear.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened, but the other day I just randomly stopped being able to hear in one ear, and it was the most devastating thing for a couple days, and now I'm just used to it. I should probably go to the doctor.
Probably.
Yeah, I probably should.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. I forgot what I was gonna say again.
But yeah, so if you were to go back to school, what do you think you would want to study? Like, what are you passionate about?
Um, I've thought about cybersecurity and I've thought about teaching. Those are both the
Okay,
things
so
I've
those are both
talked
the
to my
things that
parents
I'm
about and
really
stuff.
interested in too.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would. So I'm passionate about cybersecurity because, well, I don't feel like I need to dive into this too much, but cybersecurity is just needed nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't think there could be too many people that go into a field like that
Yeah.
at all. But I don't know that I'd be good at it because I'm not the best at like math.
Well, cybersecurity is not so much math. My dad doesn't really work with code or anything like that. Like it's mostly just like.
Because your dad's into cybersecurity, right?
Yeah, yeah. My dad's into cybersecurity. I should have clarified that. Yeah, no, he just really deals with like 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 computers, like
Technology.
yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, and I guess you can be self-taught for something like that too, which is pretty neat, but I would
yeah.
still probably need to go to school because I don't have the discipline to really teach myself
Well, for
things.
cybersecurity, you do need to have a certification. My dad had to get a certification for cybersecurity.
Hmm.
He was doing IT for a while. He didn't need it, but then when he went into cybersecurity, he needed it.
Got it. Got it.
Yep, yep, yep. So that was pretty cool. Um, I keep getting this topic in my head, and I keep forgetting what it is. Oh, so I took Billy to a bunch of different like Texas spots while she's been here. We went to Whataburger,
The Alamo,
the Alamo, the Heb,
Heb, which
HEB.
is definitely forever going to be Heb in my mind. Why would you call it anything else? I don't know.
Because it's somebody's name, Henry E. Butt.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, Henry E. Butt.
I thought you were making that up.
No, I was not making
I
that
thought
up.
you were making a joke.
No, did you not see the dots on the sign between each letter?
Well, the reason that he didn't call the store his name is because he wanted people to call it Heb.
Maybe.
That's probably his nickname. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure he got called that in high school all the time, like,
I
or they
love.
called him. They just roasted him for his last name being Butt.
Yeah,
That would probably would've been terrible.
That's probably what motivated him to start a giant chain of grocery stores. um, yeah, Heb. It's one of the most prominent grocery stores in Texas.
Yep, it's really cool. No store does more people than your HEB.
Yeah.
And Billy got herself a giant Texas-sized bag of grapes.
Yes, I was eating a bunch of grapes because that's supposed to help your ears. Red grapes, not purple grapes, red grapes. I already got roasted for calling them purple grapes, but they are the color purple, so I don't want to hear anything about that ever again.
Oh, we also took her to Buc-ee's. I took her to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, Busey's, very
That
cool
was
place.
an experience and a half.
Dude, that store, it's beavered all up, you know?
Yep, yep, yep. They have their own line of all the snacks. There's so many snacks, so many beef jerkies, so many.
Yeah, if I lived in Texas, I would probably be a Buc-ee's fanatic. I would want to own all of the Bucky stuff, and it would become a toxic trait of mine.
Change your TikTok name to Billy Beaver.
I love purple beavers.
Okay, so if somebody wants to live in a van, what do you think that they need? Like a top 3 or 5 list. Like what do you need if you're gonna stay in a van? And I don't mean like, oh, you need a pillow and a blanket, obviously. I
So,
mean like specific things that you can think of.
yeah. Well, it depends on what kind of van you have, because some of these vans nowadays are really, really nice. I mean, my ex builds $300,000 vans. Don't go buy them from him, though, because he's slightly abusive. And by slightly, I mean just totally. But anyway, nobody should buy a $300,000 van in the first place. If you guys are thinking about that, what are you thinking? Like, that's all I have to say. But his vans, I mean, they have a kitchen already. They have, like, a toilet. They have all of the neat stuff. It's like a house on wheels, actually. It's not a van like mine where you have to go to the Planet Fitness to take a shower and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're living in a van like that, you honestly don't need anything except for your belongings, which is kind of neat. Still not worth 300K, but kind of neat.
That's more than a brand new G-Wagon.
Yeah.
That's like, you could probably buy any sports car you want with that.
Yes. And yes. Yeah. And fun fact, he like profits most of that too.
You could also buy an actual house with that.
Yeah. You could buy
a
multiple.
good one too.
You could buy
Yeah.
multiple homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand the hype on a $300,000 van, but you know what? He's doing it anyway, and good on him. Not really. I don't like him. I hope no one buys his vans.
So in a normal van or a van like yours, what would you recommend?
Okay, so you noticed how my van is literally just like, I mean, it has like the wooden walls and the hardwood floor and stuff, but then
Yeah.
it's really just a bed.
Yeah.
And there's a composting toilet in there. Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
It's under the bed.
I probably did. I just didn't know what it was.
It's literally never been used.
Oh wow.
Yeah, not once, because I don't know, man. I feel like for composting toilets, it's just a lot of work. You have to find a place to dump them,
Yeah.
and it gets like kind of gross.
Just
and
for emergencies.
yeah,
Like
it's
absolute
for
dire emergencies.
emergencies. But even in emergency situations, all I do is I just go find a close bathroom.
Yeah.
So I kind of treat Planet Fitness as like the gym, my place to shower, and the bathroom. And then of course I'll go to gas stations and stuff to use the restroom. I am not afraid of public restrooms, so yeah. But in a van like mine, you definitely need like maybe a backup power system. Like I have my Blue Eddy. I talk about it all the time on TikTok. I'm trying to think of like top.
Probably some kind of air conditioning unit. Some kind of way to get air in there.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to have an air conditioning unit if you don't have a ton of power already.
Yeah.
Like built-in power. Like I could never run an AC unit on my Blue
Yeah.
Eddy. It's just not big enough. Now there are bigger Blue Eddies. There's huge Blue Eddies that are like this big.
Really?
I'm making a large arm size right now.
Wingspan.
They have large Blue Eddies. By the way, it's called Blue Eddy, not Blue Yeti. Common misconception. Because you know the microphones,
Yeah,
Blue
yeah,
Yeti
yeah.
microphones.
The ones that are literally spheres.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, those ones. Those are kind of cool. Huh?
Yeah, they're kind of cool. I thought about getting some of those for the podcast, but I like these better.
Yeah, the Rode mics are definitely.
And they have built-in
moves.
windscreens, which is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
super neat. I am going to be setting up a sink in my van soon, very soon.
Oh, yeah.
But for the time being, I have a spray water bottle to wash dishes or whatever it may be. So that one's kind of cool to have. And I like having like the foldable sink, like the one that you use to feed your dogs water. I saw it at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a plastic foldable sink. It's not really a sink, it's more of a bucket, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's cool to help wash dishes or do whatever, honestly. I've washed my hair in that thing before.
There you go.
Yeah.
A toolkit would probably be good to have so you can change a tire.
Yeah, I recommend anybody that owns a vehicle you should probably just always keep a
Yeah.
toolkit on you at all times.
When my truck got stolen, all my toolkits got taken out of the back.
That is so sad. I want you to tell that story again.
Okay, so I was working doing a job called trash valet, which means I take my truck to an apartment complex. I go up to people's doors. They put their trash cans outside. I take their trash. I put it in the bed of my truck, and then I just take it to the dumpster, which is on site in the complex. So this one time I was doing it, and I was driving my truck, and I was everything was normal, and I was on the last building before I was gonna go dump the trash, and I parked the vehicle. I turned it off, my truck. I put the keys on the center console,
That was your biggest mistake.
and I just went up the stairs just like normal, like I always do. I went up the stairs to get the trash, and I came back down, and the truck was gone.
And tell the funny part of the story where you like didn't believe your brother when he said that he thought your truck got stolen.
Oh yeah, my brother was working with me, and like we both went up to get the trash at the same time, and we both came down like hands full of like bags of trash, and we're just like staring at each other. I looked at him, and I thought like he looked at me, and he was like, "All right, haha, like you moved the truck, very funny.
I just
Let's
thought,
Go
sorry,
get it."
that's a. I just interrupted the most hilarious part of that story, but when you said I looked at him and he looked at me, I just thought of that Weird
Weird
Al
Al, yep,
Yankovic,
the drive-thru.
the drive-through song. And he looked at me, and I looked at him.
And he looked at me.
I love that YouTube video so much. It will live in my head.
The best part is
forever.
when he talks about the bunny slippers.
Oh, I know.
I'm wearing
Honestly,
bunny slippers, so I ain't leaving this ride.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think the best part of that video is the entire video. Weird Al Yankovic is it Weird Al Yankovic?
Yankovic.
Yankovic.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't even know how to pronounce his name, but he will live in my head forever.
Or when he yells at his wife about making dinner, he's like, "Yeah, well, why don't you?"
Yeah, well, how about you?
But anyway, so we come down the stairs and we're just like staring at each other holding these bags. We both think the other person is just pranking him. And we're both like, okay, haha. Where's the truck? Like, did you go dump or something?
Wait,
Like,
so your brother thought it was a prank too?
yeah, we both thought the other one was pranking the other one. We were just like,
Oh man.
like the furthest thing from our heads was that the truck got stolen.
But didn't your brother see it?
Well, he saw it drive away and he thought it was me driving it, like messing with him. And that's why he was staring at me when I came down the stairs, because he was like, that wasn't him driving that truck.
You probably were both just so confused. Like, you were probably so confused that you weren't even mortified because you were just so confused.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. And so then we called the cops, and we called my boss, and we called my parents, and my parents came, and the cops came. It was really funny though, because when I called my boss, he was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, da 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 da, and he was like, just, whatever, just let me know what the cops say, let me know if they find it, whatever. And at the end of the conversation, I'm like on the phone with him. He's like, also, is there any way you could just like go dump what you have left in your hands and like take the picture and finish off that complex?
No, he did not.
While I was waiting for the cops, I was like, sure.
Bro, your
I
boss
guess.
you did not hit him with a, hey, I just got my car stolen, and then he hit you back with a, can you just finish the job,
Yeah,
though?
he did. I was like, sure, I guess.
That is so funny and ruthless.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And then the cop showed up, my parents showed up, and the funniest part was we didn't even get to dump the trash that was in the back. So these people just tore off with the trash still in the back, and these cops come, and it's a guy and a girl, and the guy's like, all right, I'm going to go drive around and see if
The people who stole your car were a guy and a girl?
Well, yeah, but
the
also the
cops
cop,
were?
both.
Oh, okay.
So the guy and the girl cop come, and the guy's like, I'm going to go drive around the complex, and then I'm going to drive around, like, outside of the complex and just see if I see it or anything, just in case someone just, like, was messing with you and moved it or just, like,
Yeah.
abandoned it or whatever. And so we're talking to the female cop, giving her all our information and stuff, and then she, like, gets a radio from the guy cop, and he's like, yeah, I'm on the highway, and I see a bunch of bags of trash, like a trail of trash, so I'm just going to follow it, and I think it'll lead me to the truck. And the girl's like, okay, sounds good. Keep me updated. And then, like, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes later, we get a call from the cops, And they're like, "Yeah, we found your truck. We followed the trash, and
You were probably so excited.
well, I was at first. I was, oh, awesome. Okay, that was
That
pretty
was quick.
short-lived. No problem." And they're like, "But it is wrecked into another vehicle, badly." I was, I was
Badly.
like, "Oh, come on, bro."
Oh man, I don't know many people that have had a vehicle stolen from them. So like, you at least get to say that you've had a vehicle stolen from you
Yeah,
now.
it gets better. It gets better.
Okay.
So we go there. We go to where they found it. It was probably 2 miles up the road. And we go, and it's in this like residential neighborhood. Like they just destroyed somebody's little like Honda Accord or something that was like
Oh
parked on the curb.
man.
Just obliterated it. And they destroyed my truck. The whole like passenger side was just destroyed. All these wires were hanging out. It was leaking like crazy. Not only that, but they had ripped out the rear view mirror off of my window, like off my windshield. They just yanked it straight out, cracked the windshield all up.
The girl was probably like, "Oh, I could use this."
And then they took my gear shift, and they just, because it's a truck, so it's on the side of the steering wheel. It's not like yours down like a clutch down there.
Yeah.
It's up here. And they just took it and they just yanked it as hard as they could and like broke it off, and it was just like pointing straight down to the floor.
Dang.
And they jammed the keys in the ignition, so they couldn't be taken out.
Oh,
It was crazy.
assholes.
Yeah. They took everything out of my center console, my binoculars, all my whatever I had in there. They took my glasses, they took all my tool bags, all my work uniforms, all my vests and stuff.
People are mean.
It was crazy. They were definitely on meth. There's no way they weren't. They said that the neighbors said that they saw them jump out of the car and hop their fence, and they could see them jumping all the fences, running through people's backyards, like spray painting their doors and stuff. It was crazy.
Dang. I'm sorry that happened.
It's all right.
Fun.
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't your fault.
I,
So at
di-
least
I wasn't held liable.
you're gonna get
It's
another
all good.
vehicle.
Yeah.
So. Dang.
Last
This
part.
is why we should have insurance.
Yep. One more funny thing.
All right.
So after it's all wrecked, they're sitting there. They call the wrecker, the tow truck, to come get it because it's destroyed. And the guy's like, there's another guy cop there, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna bag up all the evidence because there was like a screwdriver in there that wasn't mine. He was gonna get like fingerprints off the thing, like collect whatever was in there to get fingerprints off of. He puts on these black gloves. He walks over to the car. He pulls out the bags to put everything in. He like sets them on my seat, which first of all, he just sat him. Okay, and then so he sets him down, and then he just scratches his head, takes his hat, just runs his hands through his hair, scratches his face, rubs his goatee a little bit, and then he just starts picking up all the evidence. I was like, what? You just touch all your face, like everything's gonna be all over all this.
Huh.
I was like, okay.
That's interesting. So you watched him do that?
Yeah, I was just like, my dad was standing next to me, and he was just like, I gave him a little nudge, and I was like, pointed to the cop. I was like, did you just see that?
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah, just to let my dad get here, not him. I was just like, do you see that? And he was like, yeah.
Dang. That is crazy. I'm surprised I've never had a vehicle stolen from me because I have been irresponsible at times. I've had my car broken into, I think twice, and I've had so many flat tires in so many, like, random places, including on the highways. My van is broken down before in the middle of the
Oh, wow.
highway. That was scary. Yeah, I've had a lot of car issues, but never have I ever been stolen from. Knock on wood. Thanks.
Yeah, it's not a great experience. I would not recommend it.
Yeah. Where does the saying knock on wood come from?
I don't know. That's a good question. If you know, leave it in the comments.
Yeah. We could probably look it up right now, but oh well, I'll do that later.
Knock on wood. I wonder what that is from. It's funny how we just say things without even knowing what they mean.
Like, I feel like everything has something that it arises from.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know if it's necessarily useful information to know all of those things. Maybe we should just have sayings and not question anything. So yeah, my next plans for traveling, I'm actually not 100. Not that you asked, but I was just
No,
gonna mention this really quick because it's a comment that I get a lot. Everyone's always wondering, what's your next move? I do want to go to school this summer online, and I think I'm gonna stay a little bit local to my family. Not necessarily live with them because I have a problem with living with my family for some reason. It just drives me, it makes me lazy. I don't know why.
Hmm.
When I live in my van, I'm so much more productive, or even if I'm traveling in my car, I'll actually do the stuff. I'll send the emails, I'll get the work done, I'll actually sign up for school and do it. But when I'm at my family's house, I just get so lazy, and I'm not sure if that has to do with like, I actually have no clue what that is, but I'm just so much more productive when I'm on my own. So I'm going to stay in my van, stay local to Indiana, work for a bit, and then when summer comes around, maybe I'm going to travel a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure about that yet.
Yeah. And I might go up to Indiana.
If you want to, you're invited.
Yeah, you've asked me to come like 4 times.
Once.
You asked me like 3 times.
No, I said you can come if you want.
But
Well, I was trying to think of what we could do if you did come, because there's really not much to do in Indiana.
drink corn whiskey.
Corn whiskey. Ugh, I don't like drinking. I've told you that so many times.
Yeah. But you did like the drink that I made you.
Yeah, that was a good drink.
You can see that on TikTok,
I
on my
like-
TikTok, by the way.
Yeah, he posted a TikTok. It was really good.
I haven't
Wait,
posted it
you
yet.
haven't posted
No,
it yet?
I'll post
Okay.
it probably today or tomorrow.
Yeah. I do like the taste of drinks. I just don't like the effects of drinking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like feeling gross the next day. Not like gross, that's not the right word, but I don't like feeling,
Hungover.
yeah, and I'm not necessarily, like, we drank last night, right?
Well, there's things you can do to prevent that. Like if you drink drinks that aren't super sugary, then you won't be as hungover. If you drink the same thing the entire night, you won't be hungover. Like when you start switching liquors, like whiskey, tequila, and then then that'll screw you up.
Yeah, but I feel like even when I do the right steps, I feel like I still just feel icky the next day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Alcohol, I mean, it is a drug, you know?
Yeah.
It's not classified as one, but it definitely...
Yeah, it is. It says right on the bottles. This is a drug.
It says it?
Yeah.
It's classified as a drug?
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Alcohol is a drug, and it makes me feel like I took a drug, so I don't like it. You know, alcoholism is the one thing that has not run in my family in terms of bad stuff.
Really?
Like, we've had crime in my family, lots of drug usage. Thankfully, I've never been addicted to any drugs other than nicotine. Nicotine did get me. Those freaking vape pens, dude. I hate them so much. I hate the companies that create those. It's just bad for kids.
Yeah.
I'm calling myself a kid right now. But, yeah, thankfully I've never been around people that have offered me any drugs, and I'm pretty, like, I know 100% like with certainty that I would
Yeah.
say no if I was around people like that, and I would then disengage from that friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I like to. I always say that I will only do stuff that's natural.
There you go. Yeah.
Alcohol, weed.
Mushrooms.
If I was into a psychedelic, it'd be mushrooms. It wouldn't be acid.
Yeah. No, I would never touch acid,
Yeah.
honestly.
Just the idea of sticking it on your tongue and letting it dissolve freaks me out. Like if that's how you have to take it, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it comes like in a sheet. Like what? That just doesn't. That doesn't seem safe.
Mm.
Doesn't seem safe.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. And I've told all of my, so when I went to the psych ward, like I mentioned, I lost a lot of friends. One of my closest friend ghosted me after I
wow.
got out of the psych ward. So I wasn't too surprised about that because that's just the type of person that she is. She's always been slightly negative, and I kind of always expected her to do something like that, so
Yeah.
it didn't hurt too bad when it finally happened.
Yeah.
She's done that to literally, like, most of her closest friends that she's had. And the other friend that I had, she was big on trying all the different drugs, and, like, not like the hard ones, like meth or heroin or anything, but she was,
Yeah.
like, getting really excited and, like, going for acid a lot, and
Jeez.
so I knew that we weren't like meant to be friends forever because she was just living that kind of lifestyle,
Yeah.
kind of like a go with the flow, go with the crowd type of person
Yeah.
instead of making your own decisions.
Yeah.
That's kind of like she adapted to every single person that she was hanging out with and like had a different personality every time. So I wasn't too upset about that either, but now I'm on a path to making new friends.
There you go.
Yeah. I was gonna say something there. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about your last relationship, if you didn't mind.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Because you said that you were kind of, I don't know if you wanted to share this, but you said that you were kind of a stepdad, or you were a
I was
stepdad.
for like
Not
probably
legally, right?
no. No, the dad didn't give up rights or anything. But it was for like 2.5 years, I think.
That's a really long
Yeah.
time to, first of all, just be in a relationship. I feel like most people our age haven't had a relationship that long.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's a really long time to be in a relationship and also to be basically a parent.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I definitely think that I'm destined to be a girl dad now after that experience at some
Well,
point in life.
yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel after I'm done nannying too. I'm like, I'm destined to be a boy mom or a girl mom. It's like
Yeah.
it becomes biased. You just like
Not that I'm gonna care what it is, but
what it is.
but but yeah, it was very wild, and
What was you? Because you said it was kind of toxic too, right?
yeah, it was just so
You don't have to share anything
I
that you're
just
not
I
comfortable
I don't want
sharing.
to say any names or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out how to say stuff with the most privacy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Definitely don't give away any hints by any
Essentially, her
means.
parents had jobs that took them away from the family, and she was left in charge of the kids basically for a lot of her life.
Of like her siblings?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And she has a lot. Like they have adoptive siblings and all kinds of stuff. Like I think she's one of six plus her own kid. And so she was like just was like left in charge, and she could never get out of that mindset. And so she would always like want to be in charge of me and like try and be like my mom basically, which was not great. And she she was very much like what you were saying, like go with the flow, adapted to other people, like whatever other people wanted to do, she would do it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I
Um,
see. That's that trait. There's something about it. I can't be around it.
she had no ability to say no to
There we
anything.
go. Yep, that's exactly my ex best friend. One of my ex best friends that I was talking about. Zero ability. So how did that affect the relationship, though? I guess
Well, we did go into well, we both went into different therapy. Like we each had our own therapist, right?
because
But
of the relationship.
no, just because I wanted to get therapy, just because I thought it was a good thing to do, which
That's smart.
I still believe that everybody should do therapy at least once.
Yeah, I need to go do therapy. I think I've
Um,
never done it.
that's actually how I got my diagnosis. That therapist wanted me to actually. She was the first one to tell me to go get diagnosed, which is cool. But basically, what happened, that was the start of the downfall of the relationship. Because when I was in therapy, I was like actually working like on myself and on the relationship and like just actually using therapy for what it was for. Whereas she would go into therapy and just rant about me and just say all this crazy crap about me, and then I
Well,
wasn't there to
how do
like
you know that?
because I sat in on a couple of her therapy sessions.
Wait, really?
And
Is that allowed?
yeah, you just have to approve it. You just have to say it's okay. And based on the things she would tell me, like when she would get out of therapy, like she would leave out things that I would correct if I was there, but I wasn't there to tell my side or to be able to like explain like actually what happened. And so eventually the like she basically just made me out to be this really toxic person to her therapist, and obviously as a therapist you're going to say to leave that person.
Yeah, it sounds like a relatively immature relationship, which
Yeah.
I've been in those because all was it your first relationship?
No.
No?
No, it was probably my third.
third. Yeah, I feel like first through
But
third.
first serious one.
Well, there you go. Yeah, like
First, like,
first serious
it was the longest
relationship.
one
It's
by
usually
far.
pretty immature. Like everybody, not
Yeah.
just you.
But what really ended it was that she cheated on me.
Yep, that ends a relationship.
Um, like I said, she couldn't say no, and I'm a guy. I know guys very well. I, I, I mean, there's certain things that, like, different things that guys do that I can read that a woman's not going to know because you're not a guy. Like, I know why they do that. I
Mhm.
know the way they act. And I would tell her, like, there was one time this guy, one of her brother's friends came over, and just the way he would look at me and the way he would, like if he would ask her a question, like he would look at me some kind of way when she would answer, or like the way he would, like, the way he shook my hand was really weird, and the way he, like, put his hand on my back, like, I just knew. I was like, he's challenging me.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, this is not normal. Like,
It sucks that guys act like that.
yeah. And I told her, I was like, he likes you, just so you know, be careful. And just, I'm telling you, he likes you, so don't, like, and he obviously doesn't care about me, so.
Yeah, if he wasn't treating you well.
Yeah, and she didn't believe me, and then eventually he had messaged her on Twitter, and she wouldn't stop talking to him, and then he told her that he liked her, and then that was pretty bad. But she didn't cheat on me with him that I know of. Her brother actually had another friend come live with them, and that's who she cheated on me with.
Mm. Yeah, it's probably a really good thing that you got out of that.
Yeah. And I knew that too, and I told her that. I knew it. I knew that he liked her, and I knew that and I knew she was lying to me about certain things. Like, so I used to work overnights during that, and then there was one time that I was supposed to go to the mall with them, with her, her brother, him, and her brother's girlfriend. It was supposed to be, and I was gonna sleep through the day, and we were gonna go in the evening because I worked the night before overnight. And so I told her I was gonna wake up at whatever time, like whatever, probably wake up 3 to 4 or something like that, and then and we could leave from there. Like, and she said she was gonna pick me up. She'd drive that day, whatever. So um, I woke up, and it was like 4:30 or something, and I didn't have anything on my phone from her, which was weird.
Damn.
And so I was like, okay. So I just called her, and I could hear all the background noise, and she was at the mall. And so I was like, okay, so you didn't want to wait for me, you didn't want to text me that you were going, you didn't want to, like, you know, anything. Like, we were supposed to go together. And then I told her, I was like, I know he's there, and she was like, no, it's just me and my brother's girlfriend and my sister. Like, we just did a girls' day. And I was like, okay, if that's true, that's fine. That's cool. Do what you're going to do. That's fine. Like, I support that. Go ahead. Like, that's not a problem. And then I heard him speaking. And I was like, I hear him. I hear him. I hear him. He's there. And she was like, oh, I didn't mean he wasn't with us. He was just in a different store.
Yeah, right.
I was like, so you're not doing a girls' day. And then I just found out that she had cheated on me with him.
Yeah,
And
sounds like
it
it.
was not great. Not a great situation.
Sounds like she's probably really childish and kind of sucks how childish people have children.
Yeah. It was really, yeah, that was the worst part of it was the kid, man. That was just really sad that just go through that many dads and not even care.
Yeah, I mean, and you developed a relationship with that child. So.
Yeah. And it was crazy because she, like, always painted her real dad in this light of just being this horrible person, and like they were and like all this crazy stuff. And I met him a couple times, and he wasn't a horrible person. Like, he had a girlfriend and everything, but like I didn't know him enough to like make a judgment. And of course he was gonna press. I knew he was gonna press me a little bit because I'm like fathering his daughter. Like, of course he's gonna press me.
Yeah.
So I knew that was gonna happen, and I didn't take that as him like being a jerk or anything. And he was always cool with me. Like, we'd talk, whatever. And so after I found out she cheated on me, and then like everything happened, they were in court for custody of the kid, right? So I went over to his house. I texted him and I told him I wanted to come over, and I went over, and I sat on his porch with him. And that was the last time I saw the daughter, because she was there for a visitation. And so she came out and she just sat on my lap, and I talked to him for a couple hours on the porch, and I told him that I realized that she was the one in the wrong, and that she was the one doing damage to the kid, and that she was like, that she was introducing her to all these people that she was calling dad that she shouldn't be, and that I apologized to him for thinking that he was the bad guy the whole time
Yeah.
without even talking to him.
That
Uh,
was really mature of you.
yeah, thanks. And and I just told him if for whatever reason I get called up as a character witness in court, like I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm not gonna like side with either of you guys. I'm not gonna like try and make either of you guys lose. I'm just gonna be honest. Like,
There you go.
you know, whatever. And so it was really cool. And he told me he left it off by saying that if he won custody, that I could see her whenever I wanted, and that he would just message me and I can message him, and that I could just see her whenever. And it was pretty cool. And that
Well,
was it.
that's a pretty happy ending for how unhappy the situation was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty decent. Oh, well, the other thing I did, because I mean, I tried to be a nice guy, but I did want to, do something to her. I did want to make her feel it a little bit. So what I did was, remember I said that guy that she cheated on me was living with her,
Mhm.
because it was her brother's friend.
Yeah.
So I texted her dad. I said, hey, just so you know, that dude that you're letting live in your house is sleeping with your daughter. Do what you want with that. And pretty much imploded her at home life. Not imploded it, but it just like obviously that wasn't he wasn't very thrilled.
Yeah. I have no comment on that.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I
I
mean,
don't know. I honestly have no clue. I mean, yeah.
but I do feel like it was the right thing to let him know that she was letting him around her daughter in that way.
Yeah, probably smart moves. But yeah.
And then he came at me and he got really mad at me and he was like, "You've been to my house and I know you guys have done stuff in my house and da 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 da." And I was like, "Dude, there's a huge difference between two people that are dating and the person that she's calling her dad that has been dating her for almost 2 years now, like almost 3 years now, and some random guy that she cheated on me with that she doesn't even know."
Her dad got mad at you?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like it's a parent's natural instinct to just be protective over their children.
Yeah,
So if he felt like you were like telling on her, or trying to be vindictive or whatever, he probably just got like mad
yeah.
about that. But yeah, I don't know, man.
It was just a crazy situation.
My last relationship, so actually it was more toxic than just like physically. And I feel like that's always the case. Like the mental toxicity can affect you way, way worse than like
Yeah.
anything else. I'm pretty tough, if I say so myself. I think I can handle just about any like physical thing that won't, kill me. I feel like I could probably handle most of that and not be affected by it.
Yeah.
But one thing that was like extremely, extremely toxic, and I'm not the only girl that this guy has done this to. He's done it to many, and I've actually befriended many of his exes because of this toxic trait, which is he would want to be in a relationship, but he would want it to be like an open relationship kind of, because he would want to go sleep with other people. But anytime I made like signs that I was going to start seeing other people, he would get extremely, extremely possessive. He would cry and beg me to not leave his house. He would say, "Oh, I want to be in a monogamous relationship with you now, like just the two of us. Forget about the other stuff." And then when he would reel me back in like
Yeah.
that, and I would agree to it because I did love him for a second. I actually have zero love or anything for him now. Like, it's crazy how that can just switch off once you leave a toxic relationship like that. I can't believe
Yeah.
I was ever in it. But once he would reel me back in and I would agree to this quote unquote monogamous relationship, he would then change his mind again. Usually about 2 weeks later, he would like change his mind and be like, actually, I don't know if we're soulmates. I don't know if this is meant to be. Maybe we should just be in an open relationship. And it was just an endless cycle of him being extremely, extremely manipulative. He is one of the most manipulative people I've ever met in that type of way. Like, he can probably get anybody he wants to do business with him. He can trick girls into thinking that like he loves them, even though I don't think he actually knows what love is. And that affected me so deeply that I'm like celibate for a year now.
Yeah.
Like I don't want anything to do with sex. I don't want anything to do with, honestly, even a relationship right now. Like he damaged me more than anybody has ever damaged me. And I come from a pretty broken household. Like I would say that from the time I was 12 to 15, I was kind of raising myself. Um, so for me to say that he damaged me more than anybody in my family ever damaged me, more than not having a father in my life until I was 18, like that's saying something. This guy is extremely like, and he's still out there living his life and like pulling girls and stuff from what I hear. I actually just got a text from a girl today being like, is this your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend? And I was like, yes, stay away from him, chica.
Chica.
She was like, thank God, thank you for telling me. Like, yeah, actually, I will warn any girl that reaches out to me and asks about him, because girls tried to warn me
Yeah.
and I didn't listen. And it's just like the most hilarious thing ever. I don't know what is wrong with me to where I was like, oh no, this is different. He's a changed man. No, he's not. So, yeah, basically, I'm just really glad to be out of that. I'm also pretty glad to be done with the toxic friendships that were like a little bit meaningless in my opinion, and just like for funsies, for like
Yeah.
for in the moment funsies,
Yeah.
you know? In the moment funsies. And now I feel like now that I've kind of rid myself of those types of people, especially my ex, I almost said his name. I'm not supposed to say his name, probably, because he's rich enough to where he would just sue the hell out of me. Now that I've kind of like cleared myself of those types of people, those two friends that I had and him, I feel so light, and I feel like I have a clear vision of like what good people are now. And it's the craziest thing, man. Once you rid yourself of toxic people, like your life just becomes a different life.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like the same Billie. I don't feel like I'm living the same life. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that how you felt?
Yeah. I remember in the relationship, I knew it wasn't right because I remember feeling like I didn't know her. Like I was like not that I didn't, like I knew who she was and I'd been with her for a long time, but like I just knew it wasn't right. Like something told me it wasn't right. Like I was like this.
Like she would change it up a lot.
No, it was me. It was like I just knew. Like I was like, this isn't. Like I don't. Like I didn't feel a connection to her. Like a love.
Yeah.
Like it
And
was.
after, if you don't feel something like that after 2.5 years, there's something off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I definitely don't love her, but I am grateful. I would say that I'm grateful. It taught me a lot about a lot of different things, and I did grow a lot from it.
There you go. That's the only important thing right there.
So.
That's literally the only thing that matters, I feel like.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I wasn't even drinking at all back then.
Really?
Mm-mm.
And now you do.
Yeah.
You should chill out on that a little
I
bit.
have been.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. I wasn't trying to give you unsolicited advice there. I'm a not a drinking advocate. There we go.
Well, on that somber note, let's talk about travel.
Okay.
We haven't touched on that yet. You were in how many different 7 different countries?
Yeah, so I mean, I think I've been to 16 total because I've been to Europe when I was a little
Yeah.
bit younger too, and I kind of country hopped over there a bit. Is that a term?
Should be if it's not.
Country hopped. There we go. Yeah, I was country hopping in Europe when I was a little bit younger through like an organization. This was in my freshman year of high school afterwards anyway. And I didn't international travel after that until recently. I went to Asia and I was country hopping over there. This is actually with the toxic ex that I was just talking about. So it was a pretty difficult time. Like, I have some vivid memories just imprinted in my brain of like him just doing crazy toxic things. Like, I'm not even going to say any of them, but that's kind of how I remember the trip. Other than the few parts that weren't toxic, I guess. But yeah, in terms of the culture that I experienced, I'll never forget that as like a good thing.
Yeah.
But the memories, it really depends on who you're with, and I just was not with the right person to be traveling with. So
Yeah.
I need to get some more international traveling in and make some better memories.
Yeah.
I really loved all of the countries though, like as they are. Japan, I went to Singapore, the Maldives. The Maldives I would not go back to because I just
No.
had such a terrible experience there with my ex, and also it's so expensive. It is so
Really?
expensive. Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but like it's so expensive that like I would not go back there unless I was rich, and I don't think I am ever going to be rich, and I also don't care about that. I don't
Yeah.
really care about money at all. Um, but the fact that I had just such a terrible time there with my ex, like he made me cry every single day, like bawl my eyes out, cry every single day,
Jeez.
and yeah, that was not a time. Then I went to Sri Lanka. That was really amazing. It was beautiful. We met some of the most beautiful people there. Hung out with people other than my ex. So I had a blast in Sri Lanka. I learned to surf,
Oh.
and that was fun. Yeah. Then I went to India, went to Nepal, and both of those countries are beautiful as well. I want to go back to India because I had a bad time with my ex.
I'd like to go to India too. I want to go everywhere, really. I'd like to travel to as much places as I can.
Yeah.
Been to Jamaica, Mexico, the Caribbean.
There you go.
I think that's it so far. Well, I mean, I've been to a bunch of different states, a few different states.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah.
but
Same.
um,
There's quite a few states that I still want to go to though.
how's the food?
Where?
Anywhere.
Man, I had so much sushi in Japan. I know that is the most typical thing that I can say right now, but it was delish. It was so good.
How about the Indian food?
Ah, Indian food is my favorite
I
food. We
love
already
Indian
talked
food.
about
Yeah, I
this.
love
I
Indian food.
love Indian food. Give me some chicken tikka masala right
Oh
now.
yeah, with the garlic naan.
You know how to pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
The T is a
Yeah.
try it.
Tiki masala.
No. Th- chicken tikka.
I just said that, Billy. Tikka
Try.
masala. I just said that.
Did you? It
Yes.
sounds like you're doing a hard T, like
No. Tiki.
Th.
No.
Okay.
Like tiki, like a tiki torch?
No.
No, it's tiki masala.
Tikka.
Tikka, whatever. Tikka masala.
Except the T is supposed to be pronounced like a TH.
I'm pronouncing it like that. I'm just not doing it super hard like the word the. I'm just doing it slightly.
Tikka. Yeah, okay. You're forgiven. I'll let this go. But that is how you pronounce it.
Yeah. And it's really good. The food in Mexico was amazing. It was really good. They had little cojita cheese on everything.
Dude,
Oh man.
I love traveling for the food and the people.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the food, it would just be the people. I would still travel because they make up for anything that anywhere is lacking. But like the food, oh my, how come America doesn't have its own really good, unique food? What do we have here besides churros?
I mean, cheeseburgers are technically American.
Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of cheeseburgers.
Yeah. They all kind of just run together after a while. It's just meat, bread, and cheese. It's just,
The melting pot.
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about how we have a bunch of different food here.
No, I was talking about burgers. Like it's just like
No.
how many? Like after it's just you, after a while, like there's nothing new to it. Like it's just.
Have you ever been to
burger.
New Orleans?
I've not been to New Orleans.
They have their own food.
Yeah,
Cajun
yeah, yeah.
food.
Mhm. Yep.
And it's so good. Do
It
you
is
like
good.
Cajun food?
Yeah, I do.
Man.
Have you
same.
tried gator?
No.
It's so good.
No.
It's really good.
No.
It's really, really good.
Okay, I'll take your word for
Yep.
it.
I tried it in Florida.
Oh, I didn't see my car. freaked out for a second because I couldn't see my car because it was being hidden by a different car, and I just thought of Garrett's getting his car stolen story, and my heart stopped for 1 second.
Um,
But yeah, I guess that's we didn't talk about van life too much, huh? Because we've already tried to do this podcast quite a few times, so
yeah.
we've already talked about van life quite a bit.
Oh, we met another van lifer yesterday at the
Yeah,
Bucky's. That
that
was
was
pretty
one
cool.
thing that I'm glad you got to see was that like van lifers will just park next to each other
Yeah,
and
that was pretty cool.
we'll all talk about van life and stuff. So you got to hear about an hour's worth of van life
Yeah,
conversation going on.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
That girl was awesome.
Yeah, she was pretty interesting.
Yeah, she was a little bit older. She's a partner dancer, so she keeps really nice clothes in her van.
Yeah,
And she works at festivals, which is something that I really want to do.
yeah. Seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Um, I mean, is there anything specific you want to say about van life? Anything you want to touch on?
Van life is better than car life. I will no longer ever live in a car ever again unless it's for a very, very short road trip. This is my closing line.
Okay. Well. Oh, also, you're going to be on the show Gutted. We should
Oh,
probably
yeah.
promote that.
That'll be out next month, actually. I think, do you remember the date? Was it like May 20?
I think it was 9th.
May
19th?
29th?
19th? I
Oh.
thought there was a 9 in it.
I thought it was May 29th, or maybe it was the 19th. Man, I should really know this. I'm on the show.
I'll put it in the description.
Okay, yeah, so there's going to be this show on Amazon Prime. It's called Gutted. It's a reality TV show that is all about building vans. There are 3 teams, and you race to see who can build the best van within the course of 5 days, which is not a very long time to be building an entire van or bus or RV. So it was pretty intense. And here's a little spoiler for Garrett's podcast listeners. I did walk out 3 days into filming this, so I didn't stay for all 5 days. It got pretty dramatic there for a second, and I felt like I couldn't really handle it. I can't handle people that aren't just inherently kind and what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, just kind, I guess.
Yeah,
So, but most people are not inherently kind.
that's true.
Most people are inherently.
It's getting less and less, too.
Yeah, it's becoming less and less common for people to just be like really, really giving, generous, kind people.
Yeah.
And now, if you are a person like that, I feel like it's really easy to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was saying is I had some really, really awesome teammates, and I didn't get along with them for a portion of the filming, and we're all good now. I've talked to them, and there's no hard feelings, but yeah, I did walk out, so that's your little spoiler for this episode.
Yeah, so all Billy's links will be in the description. Yeah, subscribe to her Patreon if you want to see us talk again.
Yeah.
Um,
You can hear a different podcast that we did together on my Patreon.
yeah, and if you want to see her content, her TikTok will be linked, her Instagram, and you should have a YouTube link to link in there too, right?
Yeah, I will have a YouTube
Okay.
by the time you release this.
Okay. And yeah, you can go click on that link, watch our Bucky's experience,
Yeah,
the
we went to
Alamo experience,
Buc-ee's. You can see all of our San Antonio experience.
her lose her coffee at the Alamo.
I didn't film that, I don't think.
Oh, you didn't film that?
No, I was just too upset. That was the most devastating thing that happened that day. Was someone stole my coffee from me.
You can see her try Whataburger for the first time.
What a burger.
The Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich and the Dr. Pepper shake.
Yo. Dr. Pepper shake.
And you can go to my TikTok and watch us make some cocktails.
Yep, lots of stuff
I
to
taught
watch
her how to make
adventure things on.
what was the name of that cocktail? Which one did we make?
For
The
me,
Gold Rush.
Oh yeah, for you had a Gold Rush.
Yeah,
For me,
the one
I'm
I
just
taught
gonna
you to
call it an everything cocktail because you put just about everything in there.
Trash can.
Trash can?
That's what they call it.
Okay.
That's what they
it
call
was
those kind
called
of
trash
drinks when you
can,
just
but you
dump it
put
in
some
there.
glitter on it, so it was a glittery trash
Yeah.
can. Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah, so you go to my TikTok, watch me teach Billie how to make a gold rush. Watch her be extraordinarily heavy-handed.
Is that what you call that?
Yeah, heavy-handed pours.
Yeah. Well, it was nice chatting today.
Yeah.
Thanks
And
for the third attempt at a podcast. I hope this one
yeah.
turns out really well.
It seems like it is.
We
And
had
the
the
next
ocean.
next time you see us together, maybe in Indiana.
Maybe.
Indiana.
Well, you gotta learn how to pronounce it first.
Indiana. Like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana. I wonder if that's why they call him Indiana Jones. You think he's from Indiana?
I can't remember, but I think
Me
so.
neither.
Yeah. Well,
That makes
all right.
sense.
So let's.
Oh, I didn't bring the poster for you to sign. I forgot about that.
Darn
Oh
it.
well.
Well, we have the Polaroids.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We'll take a Polaroid or something.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click on all the links, leave comments,
You.
any of that jazz.
You.
And
Bye.
see you in the next one.
See you on the next one. Peace out.
See you in another life.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Au revoir.
The front bottom.